Hello everyone, my name is Anna Cocker and welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing fantastic. Welcome back to another episode, and we're going to create the update method this time for the front end. So to get started, let's see, did I commit my last thingy? No, I did not. So I'm gonna add to that, and let's see the unversioned files as well, config files. I want those included as well. Let's see, this was the last commit. So now we're gonna say created a material UI table and a create to do method for the front end. Okay, so there's our commit. Commit that, and then push that. Yeah, let's get started on our update method. So update is done a little bit differently. All of these rows now, like first of all, actually, let me get the terminal running. So in order to get this update function to work properly, what I want to happen is when you click edit to make this thing swap to a text field, make it editable, and then be able to push it. So in order to do that, we want to set a variable that I'm going to create up top. So we're going to create another variable, const edit. Let's see, edit is shown. So edit is shown. That's what I want to do. In an array, edit is shown, and set edit is shown. So that's going to use state with an initial state of false. So that's going to be checking it. And then we also need to have a const of the edit, so the edited text. So edit to do, and then set edit to do, and again, put those in an array, and equals use state. There we go. And again, standard is it's gonna be text field, so it needs to be an empty string as an initial state. So what we're gonna do, when we press this button, we want to run an arrow function that's gonna set the edit is shown to true, okay? So that's what I want to happen. I want it to be shown as true, and when it is true, I want to render something else. So I'm gonna just separate these here real quick, and inside here, we're gonna do a conditional statement. No, wrong, not here. Oops, not here. We want to put it where this name renders. So let's go over here. So this is where the name renders. So we're gonna do here, shown. Let's see, edit is shown. And we want to do a ternary operator here. And when it's false, we want to render the to-do name. And otherwise, we want to render a text field. I'm just going to cut that off there with the value of edit, so edit to do, and then on change, and then we're going to have an event arrow function and make it set edit to do to event dot target dot value. Okay, let's see, something going wrong. Oh, I'm missing an extra curly bracket here, and that's what's gonna run. So when edit is shown, it will show a text field instead of the name of this thing. And what I also need to do then is when it happens, so when this is triggered, so when set edit is shown, it should not only run that, it should run another function. So let's see, we got our on click, and then, oh sorry, I need to put this in curly brackets. Whoa, put that in curly brackets again, so that we can put multiple statements in here. So next to set edit is shown, I also want to say set edit to do and set it to whatever the hell it was. So in this case, it's going to be the to do dot name. So we do have access still in the to do dot name because we're still within this bracket. So if let's see if I can show this correctly. So I've got a plugin Rainbow Brackets. It's actually really cool. Maybe I'll put it down in the description down below. But what it allows me to do is control right click or command right click if you're on Mac, and it will allow you to see the entire bracket. So we can see that this is still within the map bracket and we still have access to to-do.name. So that's what we want to set it to, this particular text field. when we click on the button, so that is what's going to get rendered. So let's see what happens if we were to press on this button right now. Okay, we do happen to get all the text fields, but there is just one problem. They're all linked. So what I'm actually going to do is, instead of set edit is shown to true, is set it to the ID, or this particular todos.id. Because then we can check whether or not it is this. So we can say compares to todo.id. So now only this one is going to have that particular thing showed. Now, do these to-dos have an ID? No. By default, they will, but now they don't. So we're just going to have an ID of 1 for now. I'm just going to delete these and 4 or 5. In any database, you can have IDs. So now when we click on edit, you can see that it only activates this one. Okay, good. And we can edit it. Okay, cool. Now what I want to do is add an adornment. So an adornment is a little like thing you can add onto a text field. Is actually pretty cool. But first of all, let me see. These text fields are not full width. I do want them to be full width. So full width, set that to true, so that it fills the entire bar. Okay, cool. And now we're going to look at adornments. So adornment in Material UI, text field. And these are actually pretty cool. So adornment, let's see, input adornments. There we go. Go to the source code real quick here, and we can see that we can give it an adornment by doing something like this. So we can, I'll do something like that, but we actually want to give it to the text field. So text field exists. It consists of other components. It consists of a form control, an input, a label, input label, those sort of components. So a text field is made up of form control and input and form helper text. That is what it consists of. But if we want to give props to the input, so this particular input, then we can use input props on a text field. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm just going to copy this because that's going to be a lot easier to just do. So we're going to go to this text field, and I'm just going to separate all these, and we're going to just add this to here. So input props, start adornment. We want to make that an end adornment, and we want to make this a input adornment. Yes. Well, yes. So we're going to import that. And what I want to render inside here is a button, or actually an icon button. I think an icon button will do, but maybe we want to do it a little bit different. So let's see. And that icon button, we want to put a Material UI icon in there. And I want to get the done one here. So done, that's the one I want to use. So let's see, I want to add that to my imports. There we go, the done icon, and we can import it here, done icon. Simple as that. So how does that look? Let's take a good look at this. Okay, so now we have a little check mark there that we can click, but it's, I don't know if I like this particular style. Maybe a button will do a little better instead of an icon button. So let's turn this into a button instead. Now we need to import that because we haven't used that yet. So let's see. Okay, so there you have a. Again, I'm not really that much of a fan of that. So maybe just the icon, but that would not really work because you need to put an on-click on there. So I mean, we could remove the input adornment. We could remove that. Let's see how that will look. So now it's without the input adornment. Oh, now it floats above it. So the input adornment, what it would do is it would line it up with the input, it looks like. And without it, it does not. So let's see. There we go. And yeah, so now it lines up with the input. I don't want that. So we're going to remove the input adornment. And we just want an icon button with the done icon, like so. That's all I want. Oh, oops, and we need to remove this portion right here. There we go. So now we just have this, and that looks really good. Now I also want to have an option to cancel. So we should not just do this as an end adornment. We should also, I'm going to surround this in a fragment. A fragment is a empty sort of, like it's a component that acts like a div, but doesn't really return like a div. So that's what I'm going to put this into. So I can put an extra button here, another icon button. And I'm going to put that one first. And it's going to be a cancel icon. So let's go and look for a cancel icon. Cancel. There we go. Cancel. We can do block. We could do clear. We could do close. I'm just gonna say close. I think that will look a little bit good, or a little bit better. Remove that import, that adornment import, and there we go. We have a close icon. So close icon. Gonna call that here. There we go. And now we have two icons. So we have a close and an add. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So we can check mark it or cancel it if we want to. So what do we want to do now is when we press close, we just want it to get removed of stuff, right? We just want it to shut down stuff. So on click, an arrow function, and inside there we want to, and let's see, I'm forgetting an extra bracket. And inside that on click, we want to set back all the things that we didn't want to show. So set edit is shown. I'm gonna set that one to false. And then we do a semicolon to put another method in here. That's to set the edit to do to an empty string. So we reset it. I actually, maybe we don't even have to do that because it will override it anyway. Yeah, we don't actually need to do that. We don't actually need to do that because when we close it, like it's already gonna be like changed, because when we click it, it will set it again. So we don't have to worry about that. We can keep it like this. So with that done, we also have our DoneIcon on which we want to run. So on the on click, we want to run. And I really wish we could put this in as a form, but I mean, maybe we could put it as a form. I think we can, but we'll see about that. So on click, we want to do an arrow function, update to do. And inside there, we need to give let's not give it that. Let's give it an object instead. So id to do dot id and name to do dot name. Simple as that. So a little object here. And we also need to give it, let's see, update to do. No, that's pretty much it. I need to give it the ID and the name. That's all it really needs. So when this runs, it will now trigger the update to do function right here. So let's log true, just so we can see that it works. So do something, okay, and then click on done. And what do we get here in the console? We get true. Okay, good. Now, actually, that name, that's not supposed to be the one. It's actually supposed to do the edit to do, you know, because it has a new name. So we want to submit that, not the old one. So there we go. Now, just format that a little bit, and that'll do for us. So now if we go to our log here, we get what we can actually now do is call the data. So let's log the data so you can see what we get in return. So let's edit, fill something in, done, inspect, console, and you can see we got an object here with an ID and a name. Cool. So in the update to do now, what we need to do is look for the original to do, edit it, and post it back to the state. So in order to do that, we first want to get the to do, so all the to dos equals, we're going to use the spread operator again, this.state.todos. And then we want to look for the specific to do that we are looking for. So what we could do is todos.find. Yeah, let's do that. And what we want to find is the ID of which which will compare to the other to the actual ID of the one that we're looking for. So we're gonna do a function here, and that's gonna find. It's going to look through all these to-dos as a single to-do, and if the to-do.id compares to data.id, so the ID of the incoming to-do, then that is the correct one. So we're going to say let to-do equals, and then that will be the result. And let's see, to-do.id, what is the problem here? Statement, not an assignment or call. Oh, sorry, we need to return the thing that has this match. There we go. So what we can do now is get to that to do dot name and set it to something new, which is the data.name. Right? And then what we can do is just push it back to the state. So we can set the state, to-dos, and then to-dos. There we go. Pretty simple, right? So that's all we need to do, really. So let's see if this works. So edit, blah, 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 done. And okay, so now we still need to do one more thing when we click on done. And when we click on done, we not just only want to run this, we also want to run another function. And it looks like I'm doing this wrong. No, it's still good. Okay, so we want to set edit is shown to false so that it doesn't show anymore. And let's see, blah 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 blah, done. There we go, it's saved. And now we just need to do the back end for this. So that is how that works. It's been a long video, but it makes for a really cool design of how to edit stuff. You have these nice little buttons here. You have a nice large text layout right here that functions pretty darn well, and it looks good. Like it's easy to edit because of the way that it's designed. And I really do like that. I like that, like, instead of going through another menu and showing all the edit stuff, you could just go in here, edit this crap, and be done. Like, call it done or call it exit, whatever you want to do. And I think that's really cool. So we could just do this, that, and that's all cool. Now we would want to actually make sure that it's not set to null or not empty. We do want to set minimum requirements for that, but that's something that we can deal with in the backend, because backend is going to check stuff for us rather than the front end, because front end is not really secure because people could touch the JavaScript, whereas if we did it in the backend, it would be a lot harder to touch because it's based on a server. So I want to thank you guys for watching this pretty long but interesting video. Hopefully you liked it, learned something, and let me know in the comments down below if you have any further questions. So that was been it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.